Once again, it's Esper Control up. Shaheen Soorani, it looks like he has finally lost a match with this deck. Lifetime. He's down to 13-1.
Still doing all right.
So, to recap, we have a Jace that just flipped on Shaheen's side. He is up a game, so he's on the draw. It's turn 5. So if Jace, he has 3 lands up, going to go ahead and cast a Liliana. So 2 Planeswalkers for the turn. On Majors' side, he's got a Nissa and a Primal Druid. Immediately, Shaheen will mill himself for 2 with the Liliana. Try to get a creature back. He will take one back. It's going to be the copy of Kalidas. And then the Jace will plus on the Nissa to keep Liliana safe.
Kalidas, some fancy anti-Primal Druid technology.
Yeah, Michael Majors will have to get, right? He'll have to emerge that away before Shaheen untaps. Yeah, it's really rude. It's actually better when you see if Majors, I was going to say once again if he had the evolutionary leap technology in his board. He had it at one point. It looks like he's moved off of it.
Likely what he's expecting is there's 2 of this deck in the field.
Yeah.
It's Shaheen and Joe. Very likely to be few, if any, other copies of this deck.
So we see Traverse the Ulfin Vault from Majors. He currently has 5 card types in his graveyard. This isn't going to add one, though. Looks like he's trying to find Wretched Griff. Something he can emerge right away off that Primal Druid. If he does, he can get, and has, if he draws a land off that Wretched Griff, he can flip Nissa here.
Yeah.
So he emerges away the Primal Druid. I think he wants to draw land, so maybe draws, then searches.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Draws. See if he hit the land. Gets an island now off the Primal Druid. Did he know? It looks like he hit Emrakul.
It's the opposite of a land.
It's not bad. He's 1 land from casting her next turn.
Presumably the Emrakul could do a number on Shaheen here.
That is assuming he still has Emrakuls in his deck when we're done with this turn.
Yeah.
Shaheen going to give flashback to something in his graveyard. He does have a Dark Petition available. Looks like his hand has Murder. If he wants to take care of Nissa before it's a Planeswalker, he may have to do that one.
Yeah, and if he goes for the petition to clean up Emrakul, he's going to take some hits, maybe lose his Planeswalkers to these creatures, but I think that getting the Emrakuls out of Major's deck is just too important.
Yeah, it's going to be Dark Petition. He'll cast it. Does have to... His lands are tapped. Yeah, Michael, help him out there. Yeah, you got to pay for those, but it'll still be a good turn here for Shaheen. See that Infinite Obliteration he's keeping. And that might be what he goes for again. We'll see. Just how much... It looks like he's found something else. Interesting. We'll see what that is.
Let's find out how this turn progresses. He does have that Dark Ritual trigger here.
Yeah, 3 black manas in his mana pool. So he'll murder away the Nissa. Liliana pluses on Wretched Griff. I think he may have actually just Dark Petitioned for a land.
That's what it looked like to me as well.
Yeah, for Shambling Vent. Sure. If Michael top decks the land, though, it's going to be pretty bad for Shaheen. Michael will be able to cast Emrakul, but I think he missed.
Yeah, with him not flipping the Nissa last turn, Shaheen knows that he would have to top deck it.
Yeah, Michael had 2 big turns for hitting land drops. It doesn't look like he hit on either, and now he's going to have to come up with an alternative plan. The Griff is a 1/4, 1/3 from Liliana, so it's not lethal to either of these Planeswalkers.
And if he attacks the Liliana, then the Jace will be able to flashback something else on the following turn, or they can just team up to make the Griffin effective.
Yeah, he's going to attack the Jace. Kit Jace down to 2. That'll take some options away from Shaheen. And then he'll play Den Protector. So if he needs that land, I was going to say he can flip to get it back, but no, then he takes the only land out of his graveyard. He only has 1.
He won't be able to do it this turn, but he can flip to get the Nissa to get that land and set up the Planeswalker and have the land next turn.
It's not the best.
No.
But yeah, you're right. He really should just top deck the land. That's the plan.
Yeah, he should have done that 2 turns ago. So when he's rewatching this, he'll probably be thinking of that for future games. Oh, you know, if I would have drawn the land there, that would have been what a smart person would have done.
Probably could have won from there. But on Shaheen's side, he did pick up the Descend Upon the Sinful. You see Sorin Grim Nemesis is there as well. And this is what Shaheen's decks do best, is they just play sweepers and planeswalkers every turn. So Descendants Upon the Sinful, this card, it's going to exile all of Michael's creatures. You see the graveyard here for Shaheen. He has instant, he has land, he has sorcery, he has creature. He does have Delirium. So Michael will flip up Den Protector, getting back Traverse. And that'll exile the cards. Shaheen gets an Angel token.
I'm just curious that Shaheen went for that Descend Upon the Sinful against just those mopey creatures that Majors had instead of waiting for Emrakul.
Liliana minuses again, gets rid of the card, gets the Emrakul in his hand. Jace will plus.
So Major has picked up Traverse. Oh yeah, he just has Emrakul mana here.
He drew the land. So on his 3rd try, he hits it. Now he gets Shaheen's turn. So here's the draw. The fact that the Jace went up to 3 actually is good for Michael Majors. So he can do a ton of damage. There's Emrakul, Kalidas, Sorin, the Angel token.
Yeah, he can just use the Jace for nothing, cast Sorin, just spend Sorin to kill the Angel token.
Yeah, well, you can actually have Sorin target itself.
You can do that as well. Yeah,
use all the counters and then suicide the Angel token.
Yeah, you can. There's multiple ways to kill both of these things.
Yeah, that way Shaheen doesn't gain life.
Sure.
There's a lot of great stuff. The one thing he can't do is get rid of the Emrakul, though, that's in Shaheen's hand.
Right.
So Jace will -3 on, I don't know, some spell. There's a chance that there's a spell in Shaheen's graveyard that can do something really bad to himself. It's probably not as good as just using up these cards. Okay, so he cast.
Oh, you can transgress yourself.
So it's not just target opponent. Yeah, so this is a great play here. If you look at the card Transgress the Mind, target player. Yeah, he had Shaheen target himself and transgressed his own Emrakul.
Yeah, we cut into the game well after that transgress was there. I wasn't sure that's what that was in the graveyard, but saw the 2 lands and it became clear.
Gonna activate Shambling Vent, attack that into Emrakul. Shaheen gains 2. No more plays. Last cards were Kalidas, Sorin, and Shambling Vent. So now Shaheen gets his own turn.
Yeah, says you can have this Planeswalker. I have a 13/13. I can probably navigate through that.
Shaheen's draw for the turn was Transgress. Sorin Grim Nemesis is the play from Soorani. It will plus. He'll draw Narset, Michael down to 16. Plays Shambling Vent, passes. Now remember, Emrakul actually has trample, so you can't just chump block for it and protect your planeswalkers.
And Michael still has that Traverse in hand. We might see an attack with Emrakul and then second Emrakul on this turn.
Yeah. So we'll play Primal Druid. then he's going to Lashweed Lurker, sacrificing the Primal Druid, putting the Sorin on top of Shaheen's deck. That seems much better.
Better yet, yeah, definitely.
Swing for 13. Shaheen either takes 13 or takes 9. You see this card usually coming out of the board against any sort of Planeswalker deck.
Yeah, and Majors didn't care about the Sorin being cast in the previous turn. He doesn't care anymore now.
And so you're thinking, if we go back here, you were talking about how Descend Upon the Sinful may have been a little hasty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to agree with you based on what's happening this game.
Right.
And Michaels shows that he can traverse for Deep Fiend, tap Shaheen out, and win, and we're going to go to game 3. But yeah, if you go back there, the problem there was that none of Shaheen's cards actually could kill Emrakul.
Mm-hmm.
And if Majors looks at Shaheen's hand and sees a Descend Upon the Sinful in it, there's no way that he can misplay the card, right?
Right, just has to cast it, and if Shaheen still had Descend plus the Emrakul, he wouldn't have been able to transgress both of them away. Right,
so it would have given Shaheen something. So there's just, Standard is really complicated right now.
You ain't kidding.
And it's why you see that, I guess at a tournament like this, the top of the standings is just like, wait, I recognize all these guys. Yeah, that sounds about right.
After round 5, we had page 1 of 5 players. All of them had at least one open trophy.
For Shaheen Soorani, the Esper Master, he has one of the best. One thing that you can always stand out about him is, 1, he'll be playing Esper, and 2, he's probably top 8ing the Invitational. You see the 33-year-old from Norfolk, Virginia, also a teacher, history teacher. He has 7 open top 8s and 1 win, and that's not too bad, but 5 invitational top 8s, doing, I believe, all 5 of them with double Esper. Whether it was Legacy and Standard or Modern and Standard, he's just, this is what he does, and he does it well.
Never had a sunburn. No allergies. Immune to poison ivy.
Yeah, I'd said that he's got a great Constitution roll on his character sheet. It's just, that's great.
2 lies and a 3rd lie.
But now he's going into game 3 here against Michael Majors. In a game where Shaheen's deck has really just been performing. He and Joe Lissette both playing it again today. Talked about it before. They together were 14 wins and 1 draw at the Invitational. Yes. And right now together they are 10 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
He's always on Esper. He always plays it well, always has reasonable results, but this one looks a lot like he's really come out ahead of the format.
Yeah, well, he has game in so much of these matchups. This one's interesting. I think, unlike some of the black-white control decks, he does seem to be softer to Emrakul, though.
Yes. The way that he beats it is by getting ahead with Transgress the Mind and or Infinite Obliteration. Those are really his most important cards here. But Emrakul being cast, it's really bad news for him.
Players are going to trade some tap lands to start the game. Looks like it'll be Michael to play first. Has a copy of Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which looks like he might turn 2 out. I'm not sure that Michael has another land, so he's going to go for Grapple with the past main phase instead. He could have played a Jace there, but he didn't have a 3rd land, so instead he grapples here, and I really like this play. Doing it main phase so as to not get it countered.
Yeah.
And mills 3 lands, so well rewarded.
And Shaheen's deck has very little in the way of counter spells. He does have 2 negates in the sideboard, but for the most part, Major's spells will just be resolving.
Tough decision for Michael. He was choosing between that island and the 2nd shrine. The shrines are great late game. He has a bunch of Nissa's Pilgrimages in hand, so he's not going to take the forest. But the decision on the island was tough. He does need a 2nd blue source.
Mm-hmm.
Shaheen plays a Jace, and now for Majors, it's Nissa's Pilgrimage. We go back to turn 4 for Shaheen. Expect this is when the Planeswalkers start. It's a Shaheen Soorani deck, turn 4 at the latest.
Yeah. Expect to see a few of those.
He'll loot with Jace. The loot draws into 1. Here's Liliana. Might even have options. I believe Narset Transcendent also available.
Yeah, would have been nice to have the Liliana.
Yeah, he'll go for Transgress. We look at Michael's hand. Elder Deep Fiend. Forest. He's got a Den Protector. He's got a Veggies. He's got a Nissa's Pilgrimage, and he's got a Jace. So it's a lot of pieces. Not all that much finisher.
Yeah,
right?
Majors needs to start picking up his giant colorless creatures. If this was a hand for, say, green-blue Crush, I actually kind of like his position.
Oh, for sure.
With Temur Merge, though, those tools are not great.
So he's going to cast another Nissa's Pilgrimage. This one is Spell Mastery. So he gets 2 forests in hand, plays one of them, and it looks like he's going to go for that Jace as well. And there is the Flip Planeswalker. On its last open here in Standard, one player on, both players have one. If you're playing bingo card number 1, there's a lot riding on this game. That's the last square to complete it.
2 players each control a Planeswalker with the same name.
Now, I believe it doesn't count as they're right now. I think they both have to flip.
As bingo commissioner, I will say that this does not yet count.
All right. Transgress. Let's see, from Shaheen. He will loot away at Transgress the Mind. He'll cast Dark Petition.
Actually thinking about Grasp of Darkness.
Is that what he tutored for?
That's what he's looking at. Maybe just kill the Jace outright here. Kill your dueling Planeswalker streams.
Boo, why are we getting that? Not gonna do what we wanted to do. Last time we thought Shaheen already have the card he wanted in his hand, so he went and Dark Petitioned for something else he thought he might need down the line.
This one's just getting cast right away.
Grasp. And he'll pass. So Jace down.
And Shaheen's already seen Major's hand, so he knows that he has to top deck into the Emrakul, so that's something. Also with the Jace, Shaheen will presumably have the ability to flash back his tutor and just find infinite obliteration from this point. So Major's going to play that face-down Den Protector here. Juiciest thing in the graveyard right now, he could go for his Jace or get his Grapple from the past back. Though he doesn't really have anything to find with Grapple here. And Shaheen now flipping that Jace, though Major's at this point off of his own Jace. And here's Sorin Grim Nemesis. Targeting the face-down Den Protector, Majors has enough mana to activate that. Going to get back the Grapple with the past. Grapple Den Protector can kind of loop through each other, though. He has to find a way to start pressuring this Sorin. The Sorin is very significant given Major's current board state.
Yeah, it takes care of the board here. So 2 Planeswalkers, both Jace and Sorin. Go back over to Michael Majors. He's going to grapple with the past, mills a Vessel, Traverse, and Forest. Gets back Den Protector. Plays land. And now we see those 2 Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Those are no joke because we play a Den Protector face down. And note here that he played it off 2 lands because, yeah, Shrine of the Forsaken Gods does do that.
Yep, morphs are colorless spells on the stack.
Pretty nice. We go over back to Shaheen's side. He's going to target.
Majors can do this all day. If the Sorin is just going to target the Den Protector, he can keep getting Grapple back. Eventually, he'll flip over Emrakul as well.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get Traverse with it, however. Traverse for...
He's just in Emrakul range now.
Yeah.
And Soorani can't transgress away the Traverse. It's on him to have infinite obliteration right now. He can use the Jace to get Dark Petition to cast obliteration, though at least it won't take a card out of Major's hand this way.
Dark Petition again for Soorani. Still Spellmastered. He's going to go ahead. And he gets another card out of here. We'll
picked up Pick the Brain.
Well, that's pretty good.
It's a sideboard card for Soorani.
And he's going to cast Pick the Brain. Sorcery Planeswalker. Yeah, he's going to be... He takes the Traverse the Ulfenwald out of Michael's hand. Yeah, you can take a non-land card, but it is exiled, so we're going to move that one over to exile from Michael Majors' graveyard. But no Delirium, it looks like, for Soorani. He's got sorceries, instant, planeswalker, but he doesn't have the land. So it doesn't get to have all the traverses, just the one. So we go back over to Majors. Now it makes more sense when you think about that Sorin play on Den Protector. If you have Pick the Brain to back it up, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Once Majors finds something that he can't cast there, you just swoop in with that Pick the Brain. He's able to take Traverse.
Sorin shows negate off the top of Shaheen's deck. Michael takes 2. And this is what Shaheen does. His planeswalkers slowly are grinding things away. And now he's building a wall of counterspells for his planeswalkers.
And I think I spotted an Oath of Jason hand.
You sure did.
Start the Scry train, start having really good draws. Going to put a negate on the table instead of the Oath of Jace. He's already revealed it, though, so really not losing any value there.
So he draws 3, discards 2. So you see Descend Upon the Sinful and Ojutai's Command and a land here. So some great pickups. The land would come into play tapped. Looks like he's going to discard the Planeswalker Liliana. And deciding if he wants that Descend Upon the Sinful. It's not good here, but it is a really important card to his matchups. Yeah, discards Choked Estuary.
Yeah, he couldn't actually leave up Ojutai's Command mana on this turn, so he wants to hold on to the Descend.
Jace goes up. Now Michael will go with a Elder Deep Fiend. He's going to tap Shaheen out.
This will allow Michael to deal with the Sorin.
And take care of the Sorin. He may have to take care of the Jace. Shaheen put it all the way up to 8. Michael has a turn to draw into some way to get Emrakul. Now Michael will look at the graveyard. That Choked Estuary, that was the 4th card that gives Delirium to Shaheen. So now something like a flashback to Pick the Brain that's much better than it was before.
Yeah. Very few cards with Delirium in Shaheen's deck, but the Oath of Jace is really good at turning that on.
Yeah, he's got Pick the Brain out of the sideboard. He has Descend Upon the Sinful. That may be it that cares. As you mentioned, really not much. His Emrakul, the Promised End.
Sure.
Yeah, counts it.
Yep.
And because that Pick the Brain was not, did not have Delirium, now when Michael draws Traverse, he can find an Eldrazi and cast it. And he's going to go for Ulamog instead of Emrakul.
This will guarantee that he can deal with Shaheen's entire board here.
So Deep Fiend attacks Sorin. Ulamog, we'll see if he even bothers with the Jace, if he just hits lands. Probably takes the Planeswalker out.
Yeah, I would think I'd go for Jason to land.
Yep, Jace and Shambling Vent are gone. A huge draw by Majors may turn this one around.
And Shaheen only has 1 white source now, so he needs to find a second white source.
Oh, we were saying, wait, we got to. He does not. That did not come into play untapped. He cannot make that play.
Okay, so he peeled the white source, but it is an ETB tapped land. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so he can't do it. He can't do it. Tapped. Huh. Obnixilis is almost as sweet as Descend, and by that I mean not at all.
Doesn't deal with the Ulamog whatsoever.
Yeah, he's got to decide if he wants to kill Deep Fiend with the Obnixilis. There's a thing that if he kills it, Michael might grapple it back into his hand and then kill him.
That would be less than ideal.
It's weird, right? Because, like, yeah, if Descend's going to take care of everything, and Shaheen doesn't do it. And I actually like that play, as strange as it looks.
He's leaving up that counter magic here.
Yeah. Here is Explosive Vegetation from Michael Majors.
And Majors knows that the Descend is forthcoming. But it doesn't look like his hand can do too much about that.
Swing of both creatures. He's going to exile 20 from Shaheen's library. Swinging for a huge 15 here. Shaheen does have the Descend on the untap. Both players know that.
Michael Kinney, if you're in the room, please come up to customer service. Michael
One more
Kinney
swing from the
to
Ulamog
customer
will be
service,
enough.
please.
It's going to be Ojutai's command from Shaheen. He'll see the modes. Gain life and draw a card. Go to 11. So now he has to send upon the Sinful online. And that's going to happen. Exiling Michael's things, Shaheen gets an Angel token. And it's Michael's turn. Did he hit? He did not. It's just Explosive Vegetation. And now Shaheen will have Negate up for the rest of the game. Both players know about it, too.
Next, so Majors has to actually draw his giant creatures. He can't traverse into them. He can't grapple them back.
And for Shaheen, it's a swing with the Angel and a Shambling Vent. He now has Silumgar's command and Sorin in hand. Obnixilis, Negate. He'll just pass. He's feeling pretty good behind those counter spells.
The Negate just goes a long way in limiting Majors' top decks.
And speaking of a top deck, looks like Majors has a grapple here, but he's just going to pass. He's going to have to overload Shaheen's mana. It's going to be hard to do, though. Shaheen has two negates up, so to speak. The Silumgar's command, of course, one of its modes is countering a non-creature spell. But Shaheen's going to try to shave a turn off the clock. That's a 6 points of power. He'll activate Shambling Vent, swing it in the Angel. It puts Majors down to 5. Land past the turn. Here's grapple. That's going to get the negate. Now Majors has to draw. This is a draw to stay in the game. Can he top deck? How about traverse the Ulfenwald? Yeah, I think he can.
Wow. And Shaheen getting punished for activating that land.
If he'd left back the negate and Silumgar's command, he would have had this covered. Now that doesn't mean Majors wins just yet. You see, he gets Emrakul. Now we're playing Magic.
Right. See exactly what he can do at Shaheen's turn. He has some juicy ones to work with, though it doesn't look like he'll necessarily be able to cast 2 of Shaheen's spells.
Yeah, I mean, there's an issue where Majors is at 5, and if you look at Shaheen Soorani's hand, there is a Sorin in it. So, you know, there's...
Yeah.
It's scary. So he draws. We see Silumgar's command, Obnixilis, Sorin, Evolving Wilds. There's only enough mana to cast one of these things.
He wants to be able to deal with the Sorin and the Obnixilis because both of them can clean up the Emrakul. He's limited to 1. I imagine that Sorin to kill the Angel token is really the best he can do with this.
Well, Sorin can't kill Emrakul, right? But it's really scary. It can kill Michael.
Exactly, yeah.
Open players time in round 7.
You see 5 lands and 3. He can activate Shambling Vent and have one of the creatures, he can have Obnixilis mow down Shambling Vent. And then attack with the Angel. He'll fetch with Evolving Wilds, take a look at his opponent's deck. And not too much in it. There's an Emrakul in it, and that's about it.
Yeah, approximately 10 cards. He did get hit by Ulamog earlier.
Got to see how many cards Shaheen can actually flip off the Sorin that are lethal. Something like that. So, how does Majors want to punish here? Looking at Silumgar's command and those 2 walkers. So, we'll look at the modes here on Silumgar's command. Remember, it's an instant, so it doesn't hurt the Emrakul. Counter, it's a negate, a boomerang, -3/-3, and destroy a planeswalker.
Ooh, I like this a lot. He used the Silumgar's command to bounce the Oath of Jace so he can cast that again and then discard the planeswalkers.
That's incredible. Okay. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
What a play. I'll be the first to say I didn't see that one. Okay. I'm just that one wasn't on my radar. But it's way better than anything I wanted to do there. Wow.
Yeah.
And now Shaheen's got Anguished Unmaking. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. And he plays a Jace. He'll pass. We're over to Majors. I mean, he's at 15. He could still win here. We're going to go to time. Yeah, the clock's not exactly accurate here. So Michael Majors looks to be turn 1.
So Shaheen should have Descend Upon the Sinful in his graveyard, yeah?
I believe so.
And he just cast that Jace.
So he can give a flashback. He can cast it.
So he would need something on top of that. I suppose he still has Shambling Vents, so theoretically he might have the stuff he needs to actually win in turns here.
Emrakul will hit Shaheen down to 2.
Majors looks to be on Yavimaya Coast Nissa's Pilgrimage.
Yeah, keep in mind, though, that if at any point here Majors finds an Emrakul, Shaheen's got an Anguished Unmaking in his hand. So
Yes.
Michael can kill him.
Yeah.
Michael will just pass. Upkeep, Shaheen will loot. Discard Transgress the Mind. He now has a Planeswalker. We believe he's got Descend Upon the Sinful in his graveyard, so he can exile the Emrakul. Now he draws. That first draw was off of Jace. Loot, he discarded.
Well, he did an upkeep because he has Oath of Jace.
Oh, yeah, so then Oath of Jace. Right. It's not an intervening if, so technically it happens every turn. You just scry 0.
Mm-hmm. So he
you
got to have a
can do it.
Planeswalker, got the scry before he actually draws for turn. So heads up thinking there by Shaheen.
Now he's checking out his graveyard. Okay, what's the best thing to get back? How about a 5-point burn spell? Flashback the Sorin. I can't do that. But he does have ways to... He does have that Descend. And that's going to be the play. Descend Upon the Sinful. Exiles the Emrakul. Now, we got to see for Shaheen, did he keep a land? If he did, he can activate Shambling Vent. That will get him outside of range of that play I was talking about with Anguished Unmaking. Yeah, It'll be 4 for Shaheen, 3 for Michael. And Michael has to top deck again now. Draw, can he do it? I think so. I think he has Grapple with the past.
It's mighty good.
Here's a Grapple. Turn 3 from Michael Majors. He'll mill 3. Emrakul's one of them.
And, you know, Majors can't unmaking him, but he actually won't get another turn here.
Yeah, so if Majors casts Emrakul, there won't be another turn. Now, here's a question is how many Pain lands are in Shaheen's deck? Can Majors find a way to do that last point of damage? 0. 0 Pain lands.
Well, there goes that.
No. Well, he could if he found another Jace. He could like flash it back.
Sure. He'd have to be able to get it flipped. This Jace is only on 2 loyalty.
Yeah, we're missing some pieces. I don't know how he gets it flipped.
And he already spent the Ob Nixilis, so he can't draw a card and lose a life.
He's deciding what to get back with this Grapple. Den Protector. This might just be he has enough mana to do everything.
There's, can he Narset and rebound the Anguished Unmaking?
Den Protector flips up. We'll see what he's got in plan. He's already shown once that he has a way better idea of what's going on than we do. So he'll go ahead and traverse the Ulfenwald. He got that back instead of Emrakul. I'm curious what that is about. Elder Deep Fiend is what he's looking at. Maybe that. It gets Deep Fiend, not Emrakul. Fair enough. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. If he has enough mana, just hard cast that.
Yeah, you can tap down the Angel, tap down the Shambling Vent, a couple more lands, go to his turn with 8 power on the table.
All right. Gonna pass. I think he's gonna pass to Shaheen then. He's gonna try to tap him out.
I'm sure many of you are aware that
Yeah, that's 8 mana.
the website is currently down. That
Pass.
pairings for the next
Upkeep.
round may not be available online.
Elder Deep
In
Fiend.
addition, I wanted to let
Tapping
you guys
both
know
vents.
that until
Well, he's got to tap the Angel token, right?
Yeah, he hit the Angel.
Yeah, Angel, both vents, and
to access
the Prairie Stream.
credit that is currently on any gift cards ever issued, that credit is
So that's all of Shaheen's blockers.
able to access it until the
Shaheen's hand is Anguished Unmaking and a land. There's no help there.
Yeah, so the Jace will make it so Majors only has 6 power on the table.
Yeah, does Shaheen want to Anguished Unmaking in response? He's floating some mana. Puts him to 1. No, I mean, that sees he could Anguish the Deep Fiend and shrink the Den Protector, but that's still, yeah, he goes to 1.
If
He'll do that.
Still has second Liliana in his deck and top deck that, he wouldn't take any damage off the Den Protector.
Scries 1 to the bottom. Here's the draw. What does Shaheen get? His turn to top deck, and it's a Swamp.
Wow.
And a concession here from Shaheen Soorani. So Michael Majors gets it in 3. What a play there. Michael just really scraping that one out.
And this deck rewards excellent play at Majors. He knows this deck better than almost anybody. That Salumgar's command play, that was fantastic. There was a win on turn 5 of turns.
I was going to ask